Okay, it seems like the sound now is good and that you can see the chart, which is great. So, like I said, let's refresh. My name is Danny. This is the live Q&A webinar. What we're going to do today is we're going to work with this presentation that will assist us with going through the webinar, and we will begin with a quick explanation what will happen in the webinar today. So we'll have, first of all, I would like to say that I'm sorry that I wasn't on the live Q&A last week. I hope that you enjoyed with Mr. Friedman giving you the live Q&A. Yeah, so like I said, we're going to begin with the common questions that we have gathered from previous webinars and also this live Q&A webinar that we had before. Then we're going to carry on with dynamic questions that we're going to receive along the audience, from the audience along the webinar. On the third part, we'll have some more, this will be a little more perhaps providing you information part, kind of a slide. And then on the last part, analysis. Obviously, this is only if questions will not be involved with analysis. Otherwise, perhaps we'll try and answer different things. Okay, so we're going to try and prioritize with as much content as we can give. Okay, so to begin with, of course, we're going to go through just to make sure that any capital markets and trading information disclosed in this webinar is provided for informative purposes only. It should not be constructed or applied as an investment advice, recommendation, or a suggestion. So just let me make sure that the webinar is recorded, and this is a great time to say that the webinar is recorded and will be uploaded to YouTube later on, hopefully today, and then you can see it as many times as you want. So even if you missed the part or you just joined a little later, you can still see it again if you want in our website in our channel. All right, so we're gonna, like I said, I'm going to go for a few seconds to make sure the webinar is recorded, and then we will begin. Thank you very much. Okay, it seems like everything is in place. What we're gonna do is to begin with, like I said, the common questions. Let's see what we have here. Okay, so what's the minimum deposit I can start with? Okay, so this is, I guess that this is a question that is referring to a new person who is making his first deposit. How can I read fundamental reports? I think we had this one before. How can I design a good trading plan? Okay, that's fair enough. How much money do I need? Oops, to open 0.01 with gold. Fair enough. How can I get an account manager? All right, so all of the questions, I'm sure that we're gonna make it in very fair time, and then we can carry on with the questions that you guys will put down. I would like to say that whatever questions you have, you don't have to wait until the end of the topic or when it's relevant. You can just shoot your question and we'll attend it accordingly. I'm just going to paste here your questions, and later on when we are done with the common questions, we're going to move to this part and answer them one by one. Okay, so to begin with, we're going to put down some notepad. Let's see, there we go. And we're going to put the question here, what's the minimum deposit that I can start with? Okay, so who knows the answer to this question? What is the minimum deposit? Is it $50? Is it $100? Is it $1,000? What is the minimum right amount that I can start with? Who knows? Let's, in the meantime, we're gonna line up a very nice asset to begin with. We have an answer from Adil. Adil, thank you very much. $100 by Adil. All right, Mrs. Upton, probably about 100 to 1,000. I'm not exactly sure which one was your answer, but okay. Also, we have 100 here. Let's line up gold. Perhaps we can get two birds with one stone. How much money do I need to open a position? That's beautiful. We're going to paste both of them here. And we're gonna try and get them both. Okay, so the minimum amount, the minimum deposit, sorry, what's the minimum deposit? First of all, this is not how it should be written. What is the minimum deposit I can also begin with, right? So the minimum deposit that I can begin with is, I believe, $100. I'm not really doing that occasionally, but I believe that the minimum is $100, right? And I'm gonna add another question on top of this one. Does that mean that I can start trading with $100? Is this something that I can do? Is this something that I should do? Let me know what you think. Do you think that $100 is a good amount to begin with? Is that an amount that I can, one of the question here, let's see. How do I design a good trading plan? Do you think that with $100 I can design a good trading plan? Is that something that is recommended? All right, so this is an interesting point to think about, right? $100 may not get us this far. From what I see, the audience here, you may not get this far. Okay, so $100 could be the minimum, but still there is a considerable amount that I can think of that I must consider how much I truly want to begin with. And one of the things that I'm going to do now is to show you how much I need to open just the smallest lot size with gold, right? So how much money do I need to open 0.01 with gold? So whoever don't know the meaning of the 0.01 or 1%, if it's perhaps, never mind, I shouldn't do it. I shouldn't do it. I don't want to confuse anyone. 0.01 with gold, right? So 0.01 is 1%. And because the lot size for gold is 100, as you can see, I'm going to put here one lot. It's going to show me 100. So 0.01 is actually just a single unit. Now, if I wouldn't know better, and I wouldn't know that this is a CFD platform, right, and I'm leveraged, I would think that a single ounce would cost me $1,819, right? But we know better, so we're going to put down here gold. We're also going to state the value, which is price multiply units. And we're also going to put down here leverage and margin impact. Also true needed amount, right? And we're going to put here 90.98. That's almost 91, but still leverage. What it's written here, 1 to 20. Who knows what is leverage? Let's see. Right, so this is, it lets you buy or sell more with the same balance. All right, so what do we have here, guys? We have the price. The price is 80.19. Multiply the units, but we just have one unit, so it makes sense. And so what exactly is happening? So we have the value. The value is this. So this is how much it cost, just gold, whether buying or selling. The leverage is a multiplier. That means that this 1819 is not really the amount that I need because I am multiplied. If I am multiplied, the value can be divided by the multiplier. Okay, so instead of me multiplying myself by 20, I can divide 1819.19 by 20. Let's do this together and see the outcome. 1819 minus, divided by 20. Yeah. So as you can see here, this is very close. 19.9595, 19.96. You'll have to forgive me, but as you can see here, this is very, very close. I'm sure that if the decimal here would be similar to here, we would get the exact result. There you go. See, it changed. So the true amount that I really need is not 1,800, right? It's only $19. Now back to the first question. We have two questions here that has combined. The minimum deposit that I can begin with and how much money do I need to open 0.0 with gold. So $100, right? And we need 90. Now, we said that to begin with, $100 would be the minimum. Can I do anything beside, let's suppose that I took a position with gold with 0.01, yeah? So 100 minus 90 leaves me with $10. Can I do anything else with my account, right? What do you think? Is this possible? Can I do any more thing with my account after I took a position with gold? Not really, right? I have $10 to work with. So if I put in $100, I should acknowledge that my budget is limited. Okay? In other words, when I'm designing a plan, this is later on, maybe in a moment I will explain about trading plan and then the meaning will be a little clearer. But when I'm designing a trading plan and I think, okay, let me start with $100 and see how far I can get with it. Okay, so this is good to begin with. It's true. But I should also remember that the assets that I'm using has to make sense. It has to make sense, right? If my exposure is 90 out of 100, it's debatable. All right, so we have those questions. How much is needed? It's written right here with the explanation. How much to begin with is written right here, right? So I believe it's $100, but you should contact customer service or an account manager to advise. We're gonna paste these questions actually on, let's see if we can paste it here. If I put it here, I think, oh, that's a problem. Otherwise, I can just put it, perhaps, all the answers one next to each other. Will it work? Apparently. Nice. All right. And also here, let's just put here 100, perhaps 100, or at least I believe that it's 100. How can I read fundamental reports? Okay, this one is an interesting one. I'm gonna put it here. So for the reports, we have forecast, right? We have actual, and we have, I think I've put it in the wrong order, but still. So we have previous, forecast, and actual, right? Who knows what it means? Who knows what is previous, actual, and forecast? What exactly does that mean? Anybody knows? Anybody knows? If I look at a company, okay, as an example, we're looking at, let's say, Netflix, right? And now you see that Netflix is, right? Netflix previous was, let's suppose, $12.7 million, right? So this is last year. Let's say that the forecast is that they will grow. As you can see here, that the monthly, or we are monthly already. So as you can see here, we have very, very nice stabilization around this area, right? And then, oh, it didn't work. Right, so we have very nice levels to work with, and we believe that Netflix is slowly recovering. Now, as we are, oh, it seems like it got stuck on gold. We're just going to fix this quickly. There we go. And we can see that Netflix is slowly recovering. Now, let's suppose that we've seen a report. Let's suppose that I've sent you guys a report, or maybe you've got some news in your email, and you think that the forecast is 13.5 as an example. Okay. Now, when the forecast is released, right? This is per year. Yeah, this is actually this is quarterly. So, but never mind. Never mind. We're gonna work with a yearly, right? We're gonna work with a yearly, even though I have to say that usually for stocks, there are quarterly reports. There is something called the earning season, right? The earning season is usually when public companies that are that has certifications and they are traded. So obviously they have to be transparent with the public and show the reports. Okay. Now, if we see that the previous was almost 13, right? 12.7. And we believe that the forecast for this year, right? 2023, so this will only be released on 2024, right? At the end of this year, beginning of next one. We believe that it's going to be higher by 800 million. Let me just put the difference here, right? Growth, right? By almost a billion, right? What do you think will happen, regardless if Netflix is really doing well or not? What do you think that will happen as soon as we've seen the new forecast? What do you think will happen with Netflix? Do you think it's positive for Netflix that the social media and the market in the world thinks that it's gonna grow? So is that a good thing for the company? Will it rise or will it drop? Can go positive, right? Can go positive if the forecast is higher than the previous, so it can be positive. What do you think will happen if the actual, as an example, is 13.4 and not 13.5 per year, right? Usually, January, April, July, October. Usually, again, it's not. Sometimes companies can play with it. It's not defined. It's not obligatory. It's not obligatory to be on the date. Of course, if you schedule to do something and you don't announce, it's a problem. It's a problem, and that doesn't look good for the investors. Just a second, guys. I'm gonna sip. Sorry. A company that does that, it doesn't look good in the eye of the eyes of the investors, right? You want to be transparent with the audience. You want to give them the numbers. Otherwise, it looks suspicious. I mean, as an example, what reason a company wouldn't? What can cause a company not to release the reports unless something is happening behind the scenes, right? Anyway, look, what do you think? So, okay, so we understood this one is better than that one. The number is bigger. Great. Netflix can go up. Great. What if the actual is lower than the forecast, right? Is this still good? Company is still performing better, or it will go down? We have last year, let me just state here, right? We have forecast, we have actual, yeah? So do you still think it's gonna go higher or it's gonna go down? Go down. Okay, okay. Whoever wrote down in the audience, if you can explain to me why do you think that it will go down, I'd really appreciate it. Okay, but it's higher than the last year, right? Marcus here is saying something, is wrote down something that makes a lot of sense, right? So Marcus, you're saying that the forecast brought the attention of the investors, so they want to invest in Netflix because they think that this year is going to be better than before. Sure, but it's going to go down when the actual is going to be lower than before. Is this the reason? And still, my argument is that it's still better than last year. So even if it's lower than the forecast by 100 million, I know that it's a lot of money, but still, does it make sense? You understand the logic of what I'm explaining? Of course they can go down. Of course, anything is possible. Right now we work with the logic. I'm not even sure that those are Netflix's numbers. I just put it down to explain. But do you understand? It's important that we understand the logic, the exercise, not really what will happen. The world can collapse tomorrow as far as I'm concerned. All right, but not being apocalyptic or anything. So the idea here is that whenever we have previous and we have a higher forecast, this could be applied on anything, right? Could be applied on crude oil, could be applied on Facebook, could be applied on anything about the dollar, as an example, right? So we have interest rate decisions as an example. Okay, let's move on. If there are more questions in this field, I will explain again, but right now I think let's just move on. We're gonna put down, oh, that's not good. I think that I deleted it. Let's see. No. All right, so we're gonna put here forecast, actual, and previous, and then I'm gonna put here we can analyze the previous. We can analyze relying on forecast, actual, and previous. Yeah, that looks pretty okay. Plus, it's explained on the recorded version. The minimum, let's just change that for our eyes. How can I, okay, perfect. This one is easy. I'm gonna fulfill this in a second. How can I design? All right, so let's first get this one sorted. So first of all, who is an account manager? Why do I need an account manager? How do I get an account manager? Who can tell me, guys, what is an account manager? And I am a big fellow. I can manage my own file. Why do I need an account manager who will manage my file? What's the point? I'm also an experienced trader, so why would I need anyone like that? Anybody has any idea why we hire account managers? It can help me with the strategy. Okay. Thank you, Dale. With the strategy, but I'm experienced. I have a decade of experience. Why do I need an account manager? Reports. Interesting. Reports. Okay, so what about the reports? So Sheila reports wrote reports. What about the reports? To help you keep track. Okay. So what you're saying, in other words, that he can see things that I'm not necessarily focused on. And thanks to an account manager, they can send me the reports. He can give me a better overview or another angle on how I'm doing. Is this what you're saying? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, some more things. He can also assist me with truly, like you said, you wrote strategy and some additional things. But right now, an account manager, the purpose of it is to address all kind of trading inquiries. And of course, account manager can also teach me how to trade and so on. This is for a senior account manager. And how can I get one? Just make a deposit and contact the customer service. Yeah, so we're gonna take this, we're gonna paste this here. Oh, no, that's not. Just a second, we're gonna get rid of the, yeah. So this looks very good. The only question that we have left is how can I, that's actually funny because this one is the answer for that. How can I design a good trading plan? Contact your account manager. Right? So, but to be honest, how can I design? Let's try and get this sorted by ourselves. Otherwise, the best answer would be to contact your account manager. So who can tell me what exactly is a trading plan, right? What exactly is a trading plan? Why do I need a trading plan though? Why can't I just look at here and see how Netflix is thriving, perhaps sign some juicy contract with other TV shows and movies and I don't know what not. So let's suppose that I am a big fan of Netflix. I'm just gonna click here buy and hope for the best. Yeah. So what do you think about that? Is this a good idea? I have $10,000, a lot of margin. I click here buy. Will I make money or not? Ah, a lot of people wrote no in the audience. Okay, why do you think it's not a good idea? Look, I mean, Netflix seems like it's going higher, right? I mean, trend looks good. Seems like a good entry. Right now it flinched from 389 to 311. Good entry. Perhaps I can click here buy in. It will turn out good, no? Why so many people wrote here no? Because of, put your Netflix. Because why do I need a trading plan? Because I'm not sure that my money is actually going to work for me, right? Netflix, can it also go down? Yes, it can. Can it also consolidate between the price that it's at right now to 389? Yes, it can. Can it go up and then down? Yes, sir. So everything is possible. There are so many variations that can happen on the way. So yes, best case scenario is that I'm gonna click here buy and it's go higher. Okay, everything uh, everything goes smoothly. Otherwise, if I don't have a plan, we always have plan A and plan B, right? So if I don't design how the 10,000 is going to work for me, how much can I make in every position? I mean, I don't have to be specific up to the decimal, but I need an idea. What am I going to do? I'm going to focus on Netflix, right? I'm going to focus on Apple. I'm going to focus on Tesla and Adidas and I don't know, Ben and Jerry, right? As an example. So those things are the assets that I'm going to put my focus on, and I'm going to try and do my best to know all the fundamentals. Remember what I've explained a minute ago about the forecast and the previous. So all of those companies, they have not only reports, but they also have information that is visible and accessible for free online. They are public. So what I can do is I can read and understand why Netflix is going so higher. If it's going higher, why is it going so high, and how much of a progress they have made. You can see that this is before COVID has ended, right? This is roughly the time that it was on its most. Before that, it rose just a little, and then it started climbing above 400. Now, past that segment to 500, towards the 600 plus, and eventually it ended up here, almost the 700 field. Okay. Anyway, my point is that without a plan, I can still succeed. I still succeed. It's not mandatory to have a plan, but without a plan, it's very vague. It's very you don't really know what to expect. And in business, that's dangerous. Okay, so how can I design? Now, the first thing that I would begin with is some goals, right? Second thing that I would have is my budget. And then I would put field of focus, right? When I have, like I said, field of focus can be a group of stocks, whatever. And then I have the risk money management. So of course, if I have my goals, that's great, but things can also go sideways. Now, if I have those four, that means that I've done half of my preparations, right? If I don't have those things, personally, I would really feel foggy about how am I uh, moving with my account. When I have those things, it's a little clearer. Still, of course, there's more into it that you can do with the account manager and to evolve with the goals and with the budget and to add the field of focus can be changed. It doesn't have to be only stocks or only commodities, and I can mix. But still, the general idea, the umbrella itself, is by doing those things to help optimize the process. An account manager can assist you with that. Like I said in the beginning, a senior account manager, this is basically what they do. They can assist you with all of that. Do we have any questions regarding any of the things that we've had so far? Any questions regarding anything? All right, so we have a question from Lucas. How long does it take? I guess you mean how long does it take to design a plan, or how long does it take to go with the plan? If you meant how long to make the plan, so I don't really know. It could take perhaps a week, perhaps less. That depends how sophisticated a plan you want it to be. If it's an annual plan, maybe it will take more. If it's just the plan for the next few weeks or few days, so it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to take too long, right? All right. So do we have any more questions regarding anything that I've explained so far? Let's just minimize this guy to make it looks okay. Right. So we're gonna move on. I'm sorry that I didn't paste the questions that we have here because most of the questions are already answered. We have a question here: how much money to trade with Nasdaq? So this is the same exercise, right? As you can see here, we have a question from Hassan. How much do you need to trade Nasdaq? How much money do you need to trade Nasdaq? And Hassan, you can do the exact same exercise that we have done in the beginning with gold, right? Let me just, for the sake of the discussion, we're gonna try and show here. Okay, so we have Nasdaq here, and Hassan has asked, how much money do I need to trade with Nasdaq? First of all, you didn't specify the position size, so I don't really know how many shares you want to buy, right, Hassan? So if you can specify, that would be great. Otherwise, if you can see, one share cost 12,000, and the margin still is 600. So this is the same idea with the gold. It's even the same leverage, right? Look, it's the same exactly principles that we have used with gold. Does it make sense? If you still need me to explain, I will explain. Otherwise, if you understand, so we can move on. Of course, it's a pleasure. I'm happy. If still, like I said, if an explanation is required, I don't mind. But let's move on. I'd rather pick up questions that are that we didn't have so far. Let's see else what we have here. See questions about the dates, which is fine. Can you explain about AvaProtect? Look, I have no problem to explain about AvaProtect. You know what? Let's go briefly through that. It just I've explained about it yesterday, right? Alicia has asked about AvaProtect, and I've explained about it yesterday, but still I don't mind just a few minutes to give in a nutshell how it works. We're gonna go with, I think yesterday was gold, so today we're gonna go with silver. Or maybe we've done silver. I believe it was with gold. Never mind. All right, so coming from Alicia or Alicia, I don't know how you pronounce your name. I'm sorry in advance. And can you explain about AvaProtect? The answer is yes. So what AvaProtect is doing is it allows you to protect the positions. Just a second. Right, so what it does is it allows you to protect the position certain time frame. That means that it allows you to protect the position for a certain time frame, and whatever you have lost during the coverage, you will get back. Excellent. Now, since we have silver lined up, and we're going to put down two scenarios, we're going to use something that is called take profit and stop loss. Take profit is the price that I mark on the chart, and if it reaches on the price that I've marked, so it's going to stop my position with the profit. Otherwise, it will stop my position with a loss. Okay, like I said here, a stop loss is going to stop my position with a loss, right? And I can also change them, by the way. If I've placed take profit as an example here, okay, if it's, as you can see, the line is something that I took from the tiny arrow over here, right? And if it's giving me problems, you see I can't see the price here, or I can't click and drag, it's just bothering me to do that. I can define it from the settings. So I can just place it here, it doesn't matter. And then I click it twice, and then I change the price that I want to here. And then it's gonna be on the price that I want. Okay, I don't have to keep fighting with it. It's very convenient and simple. You see, it doesn't let me place the line. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click on it, and then I'm gonna change it to 19.5 right here, and there we go. Also, we're gonna make this one green, and we're gonna make that one red for the sake of the example. Okay, we have a question here. AvaProtect cost about 3 or 4% of margin. I have absolutely no idea about the calculations. I'm sorry in advance, I have no idea. I get this question very, very oftenly, and I'm not sure. I don't want to, God forbid, right click to bring up that box. You don't have to. You don't have to. You can even click here on the shield, right? You click here on the shield. Look what happens. Yeah. So this is what it does. This is what it does. It brings up the time to choose, and then you can just change according to what you want. Now, this is a very powerful tool. Why is this such a powerful tool? Let's suppose that I'm trading 0.1, right? I have 1,000 units. So for every, I'll explain in a second exactly what it means. Silver, and silver is written this way. Now price is 20.07. Take profit is 20.5. Stop loss is 19.5. And the potential outcome here is 428. This is actually a month. I would rather have something a little more. There we go. It makes more sense. Okay, so the potential outcome here is 427.28. Keep on bouncing. And in here, the potential loss is quite considerable. Are we with a buy? Answer is yes. Okay, very well. And what happens now is, as you can see, we are using take profit. It's a price that I put on the chart. And if it reaches the price, it's going to stop my position with the profit. And in here, like I said, if it goes against me, because I'm buying, my intention is that silver will get higher. And if it goes down, so I'm going to lose money. And if it goes down, how much am I going to lose? I'm going to lose 577. How so? This is a rule to understand how trading works a little better. Okay? And this rule is very simple. When I buy or sell one unit and it's moving $1, I will gain or lose $1, right? So for 1,000 units, multiply half a dollar, I will gain or lose 500 quid. Now, 500 is not exactly, because this is 20.07, this is almost 20.1, so this is close to 400 rather than 500. As you can see here, there is a difference. If I'll be a little more accurate, let's try and fix it this way. I hope it will work. Not really. Okay, but as long as you understood the point, as you can see, it's not exactly 500, but I'd rather not change it because it's gonna keep on confusing us. But as you can see, the idea stays the same. The idea is that whenever I buy or sell one unit and it moves across the chart, let's say $1, so I will gain or lose $1. Now, with this, I can carry on and calculate also the fee. So the fee here is going to be paid anyway, right? 211. This is the fee, regardless of if the position is going to get to one of the prices that I've marked, right? It can also stop here, right? It can get stuck in here before the coverage ends, or it can even get to here before the coverage ends, and then I will not lose this amount. I will lose this amount. And this amount is less, right? Let's put down these figures and see how much. Now this is less. This is almost as much as the fee. It's better than the fee because I'm going to get it back, but I'm paying almost as much as the loss. So what's the point? In other words, what I'm telling you guys is this is a very, very good tool. This is a very powerful tool, but I must make comparison to the fee that I'm paying versus my expectations. We had a question here. If you remember this question, we are almost out of time. I want to share with you the links, so we're gonna hop on this slide in a bit. Yeah, as you can see, so to design a good trading plan, right? One of the things is, if I'm using AvaProtect, just a second, guys, I'm sorry. All right, so if I'm using AvaProtect, this is it's my responsibility to make comparison to the fee that I'm paying, right? Obviously, if I would aim for, I'm just taking an extreme example, right? This one is too extreme, right? So this is as much as I'm paying the fee. So what's the point here? I'm gonna make 220 and I'm paying 211, so I'm doing all of that just to make $10. I mean, I can, but it doesn't mean necessarily that I'm efficient. I'm using the product, but I'm using it, I don't really fulfill its potential. Let's put it this way. Is this understood? Do we have any more questions? Alicia, did you understand what I've explained? You've asked me to explain about AvaProtect. Did you understand? Okay, we have another question here. Is the spread of 30 means just a second, let me paste your question because this one perhaps it needs to because sometimes, let's see, is the spread of 30 means if gold costs 30, you pay 60, and once gold I'm not exactly sure. If you can elaborate, this one would be great. But I can tell you what the spread means regardless. Right? You're asking about the spread here. Not really, not really. Look, the spread is a tiny figure that it's the difference between the bid and the ask, right? So the spread makes the difference. As you can see here, what it's written 30, this is 30 for one lot. Yeah, it's not 30. The price for silver, and this is not gold, this is silver, by the way. This is something else. So 30, acknowledge one lot. It's not a single unit, right? It's for one lot. When you take one lot, 10,000, so the spread is $30, right? It's not for a single unit. We must understand this because silver for itself doesn't cost 30, so it wouldn't make sense that the spread will be a little more than double as much. Yes, exactly. You are in a loss as soon as you take the position. This is the meaning of retail. This is the meaning of the spread. Okay. All right. Thank you for the wonderful question. I'm happy that you asked it. It just explained a little different in here. So, all right. We're gonna share with you through the chat, like I've promised. We're gonna share with you the links here to make your life a little easier. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the first link to AvaGo. This is, I almost forgot to tell you guys, to get to this interface, whoever not familiar with this interface, which is the web trader, you must log to your account with your email and password to AvaTrade. You go to avatrade.com, you log with your email and password, you log in, and then you are supposed to see the platform here. Okay, maybe it's not going to look like that. It's going to look a little more, perhaps I just going to get rid of that, right? It's going to look similar to this. It's going to look maybe like that, but you can, like I said, you can organize this way. You can scroll this down, and when you click sell or buy, it opens this nice field there for specifications. Yeah, so we're going to share with you the links. I'm sorry. Right, so this is to log in and deposit, pasting it in the chat. This is for the help center and the FAQ. This is for a real account if you're enjoying the demo but you want to get down to the business. So of course, and you have this lovely academy with all kind of tutorials and videos and all the very, very educational things that can assist you along your journey. Yeah, so let's just go through the questions. I want to make sure that I didn't forget anything. Oh, there is something that can be very helpful regarding the plan, right? So regarding the plan, the thing that I wanted to add is that we have an app called AvaSocial, and what it does is it lets you see lists of other traders. Now, if you find something that if you find a client that you see that he's really succeeding and you want to shape your strategy upon perhaps somebody else who is already succeeding, this might be a wonderful idea, might be a wonderful idea to open your eyes to new horizons, right? You can even link your account to somebody else's account. Now, if I would be a beginner and I wouldn't be sure exactly of what I'm doing or how I'm doing or how do I access any kind of information, so probably I would try that. I would try and see if I can follow somebody who knows what he's doing, so perhaps I can change my own strategy later on. But at least it helped me absorb knowledge, right? It makes sense. So AvaSocial, I highly recommend to download. This is for free anyway. To download the app, not the service itself. And yeah, if you like it, so as a beginner, this is very, very good. Even for advanced, by the way, I keep saying as a beginner, but to be honest, even as an advanced trader, if I want to have additional strategy, to try additional strategy, and I'm looking at somebody who's doing currencies and commodities and I'm with stocks, perhaps it could be helpful. This is regarding the trading plan. Okay, this one we went through already. Technical analysis, do we have time for that? Maybe just on a nutshell. I'm just going to tell you guys something very, very important. So usually when we're looking at the chart, we're going to find two edge points, which are support and resistance. In this case, if we're looking at days, right? So this one would be the support. This one will be the resistance, give or take. Okay, this one will be another resistance. And as you can see that 2 days ago, silver just flinched down across the support. We have a question here. If you succeed and someone want to link to you, do they just ask AvaTrade charges them a fee? I don't know exactly, and I don't want to give you inaccurate answer. So what I would suggest is that you'll contact your senior account manager, and he's gonna check for you exactly how it works. I just don't want to give you a blurry answer. I'd rather, yeah. So like I said, if this is, so I'm just explaining on a nutshell, guys. We're not gonna dive too deep because our webinar is over in a few minutes. As you can see here, so this is the edge points for the chart. So this would be roughly the resistance. And this would be the support, right? Whoop, didn't save it for some reason. Well, let's save it now. Yeah, it seems like it. Right? So this is the support, the bottom area is the higher area. So this is the resistance, two level of resistance, to be honest. We're going to paint them in white. This one is going to be blue. Perhaps this one or that one. I think you're going to see this one clear. So as you can see now, what exactly, how exactly is this resistance and support? How is this going to help us analyze anything, right? So what it does is it usually it indicates an edge point from the for the chart for something that fundamentally happened. Usually the resistance or the support doesn't break just like that. Usually the asset is not, perhaps I can show you a bigger picture. Yeah, so you can see that in a bigger picture, if it doesn't have a fundamental reason, again, I'm saying usually because it's not a formula. It's not a formula. You can still see assets breaking support and resistance, but usually there is a fundamental explanation for that. So if there is no fundamental explanation, you can see that it's just going to either consolidate across certain levels because of supply and demand, or it's just going to get through the resistance and it's going to turn around. But again, it's not a formula, so I don't want to guarantee anything to anyone. Right, but the idea here is that if it crosses the resistance or support considerably, we would expect to see something on the news related to the asset. So if it's silver, since it's a safe haven, could be related to the economy or anything like that. Yeah, anyway, this is the idea behind technical analysis, just on a nutshell. I'm very, very sorry I couldn't do any more than that, but we don't have time. And I'd rather give you this lovely benefit code that you can give to your senior account manager, and that means that you have participated in this webinar and you are eligible for a one-on-one premium market review from your senior account manager. I believe that there is nothing in the world that is helpful more than that, more than a person who is trading already and can review the market with you. Take the code, give it to your senior account manager after you've made a deposit, and of course, it could be helpful for you. Guys, it's been a pleasure giving you the webinar today, the live Q&A webinar. It will be uploaded to YouTube later on, as I said. And in the meantime, guys, I wish you all best of luck, make a lot of money, and have a good day.